Hey everybody, it's Jeremy J with a cat in the background scratching the scratching post. You can see its little tail there. And this is a follow-up to why the twin flame runner won't or isn't contacting you. And to do this, I'm going to go through the comments that some of you left on my channel. I always appreciate your comments and what you say and the different perspectives you all bring. A lot of the things that you said on that last video were different than what I outlined, and I think that's super healthy. It provides more meaning and more understanding into the general pool of knowledge that's going on. Let me reaffirm my stance and my belief about it, and then we'll go through some of these comments. In a lot of cases, the twin flame runner isn't contacting you because they have checked out of the situation and they're no longer interested. They have left the interaction, and it's a very simple answer, and for me the very logical and having a high standard approach is for you to then, after showing your interest and not getting it back, hey Dio, and not getting it back, is to move on and look for someone who will show enthusiasm for you. And now let's go through some of these comments. Hey Dido, she's super talkative today. So Rob, Eris, and I may abbreviate some of these comments because some of them are really long, like paragraphs upon paragraphs, and my mental state as I'm healing isn't such that I can dissect that much. So I may abbreviate comments to one sentence. So we'll start with the first one that I see. Rob Eris says, you know if you're a twin, what you speak of isn't. So basically saying that what I said, that's not a twin flame situation. Well, my response is, whatever your definition of a twin flame is, it's open up to the interpretation, to the eye of the beholder to decide. I see most people who go through this situation, the twin flame is a catalyst that opens them up, reveals all their flaws and weaknesses, forces them to look inwardly, and ultimately to become a better and stronger version of yourself, more enlightened, and to seek to attract the next best person as the runner never comes back. And so that's how I look at it. I understand the point here that it can only be a twin flame if it works out. I don't see it that way, and having a different opinion than me is totally fine too. Next comment, Dana Bethel says, the runner twin won't contact us because they are selfish, a selfish, heartless shithead. It can certainly seem that way, right? I've learned over the years, I'm 38 now, I'm still a young buck learning in life, but I've learned that there's always lots of things in other people that you don't quite understand from their whole life journey. Certainly some of the things the runner twin does can feel like heartless shithead things. I've heard of some that have been abusive physically and verbally, into drugs, and done all sorts of crazy things. In my case, that isn't true. However, there's still some things that make me think, oh wow, why that? And so I totally understand some of the pain and things that some of you have gone through. The runner twins have done some really heartless things as far as treating you go. And I think the best way, again, to move past that is to move on with your life and never keep someone in your life that treats you that way. Much love and light to you, Dana Bethel. Next one, Caroline Santos says, there really is no other way but move on. We can't wait for them forever. And I agree with that statement. Life is finite, life is temporary. We only have but this one life to do the things that we want and to make it as amazing as we can. Why not fill it with people who are enthusiastic and happy to be in your life, even if that means moving on from your twin flame other half. So good comment, Caroline Santos. Next we have Cheyenne McDaniels. I agree with you. If this was not a twin flame connection, with a connection so deep and so intense, it isn't that black and white, etc. It's beyond them simply not being interested. Okay, so I think this comment is saying that there is more than meets the eye to them just not being interested, that they feel, that they may likely feel the deep soul connection to. My response is maybe they do and they're just fleeing for the hills. That's possible in some situations. As I said, I think the most common situation I see is that the twin flame runner has just moved on or has just checked out emotionally. I do think there are some cases where the runner is just fearful, but that's not the majority of cases that I see. So I totally get that statement. I think in some cases that's true. So good perspective, Cheyenne McDaniels. Wolverine 875M says, get back on your horse, punch the horse in the face and show it who's boss. Try again and never give up. I like that statement. When I hear that statement, to me that means like keep moving forward in life, keep going after the things you want. Don't let this hard situation define you and destroy you. Keep moving forward. So I think that's a great attitude to have. So good job, Wolverine 875 space M period. Next we have Princess Prayer Warrior. She says, I don't need psychic, I think she meant psychic, but I'm going to read it as is. I don't need psychic readings to tell me why my twin ran. It was time for him to go and for me to move on. I'm continuing my spiritual journey and letting him go is part of that. Thumbs up, 2 thumbs up for that one. That you are letting go and moving on. Letting go is so hard in these situations. Like when you really like someone, like you really like them, and you state that to them, and then you say, I like you, but this is unacceptable. If you change your mind, call me. And then you walk away from that person and move on. That's so hard. And so I really look up to those of you who are able to do that. It's taken me a lot of work on myself to get to that place where I now do that in situations where if someone's not enthusiastic, I say, well, if you ever get that way, call me. Otherwise, thanks for the memories. Super hard thing to do. So Princess Prayer Warrior, much love and respect to you. Next comment, Angel of Love says, everyone wants to know why they aren't hearing from their twins. It doesn't matter anymore. They're gone. If moving on doesn't bring them back, nothing will. Yeah, I think you got to be a student of reality in these cases. If someone's not contacting you and it's been months or years, you can't keep waiting for someone like that. You've got to get on with your life, live your vision, mission, passion, rekindle old hobbies, connect with old friends, and move on. It's hard. Sometimes you have to cry a lot. Totally get it. Good comment, Angel of Love. Next one is from Twin Flames, Angels of Love. Moving on is crucial, but some people are coming into union. I know of a few that already have in the past few months. Nice tan, Jay. I didn't know I had a tan. Do I? Do I have a tan? Maybe I'm just red in the face from all this fucking pain from my spinal fusion surgery and trying to recover, or I'm just hot. But I'll take the compliment. Thank you. That's awesome that some are coming into union. That does happen in some cases. It's not a guarantee, and because it's not a guarantee, I continue to teach moving on and detaching. But thank you for the comment nonetheless. Next comment, Mark Saker says, this is purely 3D perspective. The real story is bigger, encompasses the meme that twins spend many lifetimes not being incarnated, etc., etc., etc. Unfortunately, I don't bring a lot of knowledge into many lifetimes and incarnation. That's not my area of expertise, so speaking to that would be a disservice to you. However, I can speak logically, as I have been, that when someone says the real story is bigger, to me that feels like there's still an attachment to the whole twin flame, to the runner coming back instead of moving on. That's my perspective on it. And so I used to think that as well, like there's this big plan. After years and years, if I just become this great person, they'll come back. I don't think that anymore. I've just moved on with my life. But nevertheless, thank you for your perspective. Next we have Int J123. Last time I saw her, I told her I'm not going to make it. I asked her if she's disappointed. She answered with the same question back to me. Are you disappointed? But I didn't feel disappointed in myself. She said you have to keep trying, but the more I think about it, she doesn't get to tell me what I have to do. Good. That's correct. You are the author of your life. Hello, Kitty. You are the author of your life. No one else is. It is you. You are the captain of your ship. I firmly believe that each of us is the captain of our ship and that we must, with full fervor and effort, steer our lives in the direction we want and take on all the wind, storm, and hail, and tornadoes, and whirlpools, and rocks, and shards of glass, and whatever shit gets thrown at us. We've got to keep steering our ship. So in J123, that's a great comment. Thank you so much. Next we have Crystalline Angel of, with quite a number of hearts at the beginning and end of the comment. Moving on is the best thing I ever did on my journey and should have done it a long time ago. That is an excellent realization. That tells me that she, Crystalline Angel Love, has realized that what she's been doing is unhealthy and not taking her to a place she wants to get to. And it's super hard, especially when you feel this connection, to say that and admit it. So kudos to you. Good job. Rock on. Next we have Anne Maria. I found this video hugely discouraging for many who are nearing their reunion. First, it's a conscious decision for us to wait, rather be alone than with anyone else, etc., etc. So I understand this perspective that there's this big picture, that the time is close, and the way I look at it is like the end of the world has been prophesied over and over and over and over, and the date always just continually gets moved back and back and back. And the same thing can be done in this twin flame situation. You can keep saying the reunion's next month. Oh, it's next year. Oh, the time isn't right. Oh, there's more lessons to learn. And you can always justify and conjure up a reason in your mind how the reunion is coming soon. And in some cases, it may be. But in a lot of cases, I don't think so. For me, the rest of this comment said try dating a lot of different people and it didn't work. I've dated and met some really awesome women since I've been on my own who far exceed the one I would call my counterpart or twin flame in all areas. Unfortunately, things didn't work out with that woman, but I was certainly interested in them. The way I see that is I have things to work on as a person to grow and learn and to be able to attract that kind of person into my life. I still have lessons to learn. I have to become more, I have to heal from my back, first of all. I've got to become more present, resourceful, humorous, intelligent, all these things to attract that kind of incredible and amazing woman. So I feel like the onus is on me if something doesn't work out. I need to become more. But nevertheless, thank you for your comment. I understand the sacred nature and the value a lot of you place on this twin flame situation. So by no means am I saying, oh, you're wrong. Absolutely not. You're free to view the situation as you will. I share my approach for many of you who feel stuck and are letting someone treat you poorly. So next we have Skylar Fox. My twin doesn't deserve me. That's why I've moved on. Great video. You look good today. Well, thank you. I don't remember how I looked in that video, so I have to go back and watch it. But I appreciate the compliment, and realizing that someone doesn't deserve you is you taking your power back. Great job, Skylar Fox. Keep on going. Next we have Blake Hathaway. Waited 10 years for my twin. Damn, that's a long time. Got criticism because of it. Now I'm ready to move on, and there's more criticism. No one will give me back the time I lost. Great video, Jeremy. Blessings. 10 years, that's a really long time. That's like over 25% of my life. And I bet you've learned a lot in those 10 years. Those 10 years are not a waste of time because you learned and grew in that period of time. But now you've reached a point of time where it's time to move on to the next best version of yourself, and that means moving on from this situation. So not easy to do, but good job. Next we have M plus Pay, P-A-Y Miniature, M plus Painter. So true. I'm about to make a video about my experience with this twin flame concept, actually very destructive. Thanks for your honesty. Well, what I've learned is doing these videos is hard. People are going to sling mud at you. They're going to try and sneak in your channel to get to advertise, to kind of underhandedly advertise that they are someone who can provide services. All these things are going to happen. And I've realized that you must be, to continue making videos instead of just one or two, you've got to have a fortitude, an inner fortitude to withstand all that shit that's going to get thrown at you. But I think it's very brave. It's very courageous to make a video about it and to open yourself up to all of that. So I am with you and support you 100% in that choice. Next we have, hi Dido. Next we have Andy Robin, who says we have to focus on our own life. If they're not interested, then they're not interested. And that may change, but we know by their actions. Thanks, Jeremy. Nailed it again. Well, great. You're looking at it as a student of reality. You're looking at someone's actions as the dictation of how they really feel. And I think that, as humans, until we become telepathic, psychic, evolved, alien-like beings, this is the best we can do with what we have, as far as I know, as far as my limited understanding goes. And so, good for you, Andy, for being a student of reality and seeing it that way. Great job. Next we have Daniel. I can't read the characters after your last name, but I think you're from Japan, and you saw a video of mine a month ago, and you said, glad to see you're keeping positive and my life's manifested to a new condo. Yes, I love this new condo. It's so much better than my apartment. My apartment was a dungeon. It was a dump. And so I'm here now. Somehow through the surgery and not having much money, I was able to move into this condo. I'm very grateful for it, and I hope I get to keep it. So thank you, Daniel. Next, we have Twin Flame Fire. Every union is different, and most on this journey, it's impossible to move on. It is the number one lesson to master as a twin. It's not impossible. Bingo! It's hard to move on, to get to a point where your standards for yourself take precedence over your emotional feelings. That's what I'm trying to teach all of you, is that to move on when you're not being treated well or someone is not reciprocating. That's hard to do when you really like them. Simply put, and I'll do a video on this next time, how to move on from the Twin Flame Runner, but simply put, you stop contact and you stop looking at their social media, you delete them out of your phone, you delete them on social media. You don't have to block them. Just unfollow them or stop looking at their stuff. And stop writing about them in your journal. Just cease and desist all activities related to them. And then over time, the whole will lessen. So good job, Twin Flame Fire. Next we have Oscar Centric. I think something's wrong here. Why would you need your twin as a body next to you if it's your genuine twin flame? It's a love affair with God. That's the reason why we love unconditionally. It's not about the person we love so much as about divine love. If we ignore that point, we'll always be suffering. Much blessings and love. Unconditional love is hard. That's what I get from your comment, Oscar. Yeah, it's really hard to love unconditionally, and I think you can move on from your counterpart runner and still love unconditionally. Absolutely, you can send them good thoughts, good energy, but you shouldn't be spending all your time thinking about them, lest you are spending your time giving your energy and power to someone who just couldn't give a crap about you in a lot of cases, not in all cases. Unconditional love, I look at my two daughters and I'm loving them unconditionally. Like Sienna broke the cat, there's a cat scratching post there, and I still love her the same even though that happened. And I think unconditional love means you just love regardless of what the other person does, but I think you must always state your standards and boundaries. So next comment, Carol Rogers. I seen the person I thought I loved with all my heart, and I did feel nothing, just the way I was for that person. I have well and truly moved on. Good job. If you have well and truly moved on, that's a feat in and of itself in these situations. Great job. Next we have Moranis Nolan. For the runners to abandon such deep love for soul connection and force us to go through this excruciating transformation tells me they are evil and heartless. Greetings. Stay strong. Well, I don't think all of them are evil and heartless. I think a lot of them have just checked out. In my case, they thought I was becoming needy and could potentially be like a stalker and that kind of thing, and it made them just freak out. I'm sure there are other reasons they freaked out as well, and so I think there's different reasons that they just disappear like this. Some of them, it may be that they lack empathy and that they just don't know how to communicate. There's lots of different reasons, and probably some reasons that they're just evil and heartless are true too, but I think the majority of cases there's other reasons as well. Let's see, there's a whole lot more comments to go here. I'm going to stop here because sitting for this amount of time, my back is on fire. But I got through a good amount of comments. Let me see if there's one more comment I can go through. And there's so many of these, and I really appreciate it. Twin Flames in Italy says, I want to move on. Where do I begin? I'll do a video about that. I will do a video about that. And lots of other different comments about it. So this is me, Jeremy, responding to Twin Flame Runner, why they're not contacting you, and responding to comments through the video. I would love to hear if you guys like this. Do you like me responding to comments in the video? I will. If enough people tell me they like it. If no one tells me they like it, I probably won't do it this way. But I think it's a nice thing to be able to call someone's name out and respond to their comment directly. So If you find that of value, please share. Share. Okay, I'm about to go lay down and pass out. We'll talk to you guys later.